Hello, guys. Welcome to the 2x e-commerce podcast. I'm your host, Kunle Campbell, and this is the e-commerce podcast dedicated to rapid growth in online retail. Now, if you work in marketing at an online, e-commerce or online retail business, or a founder, I'm going to help you sell more directly to your customers. Each week, I post at least, and we get at least one interview from an expert, a founder, or representative from a best-in-class, e-commerce SaaS platform. Um, our focus really is growing growth metrics. So metrics such as conversions, average order value, repeat customers, your audience size, and ultimately sales. I give them a remit essentially to help you. Just help you sell more, online directly to your customers. Now, on today's show, I have Soksham Sada, who is the creative director of Outgrow. Now, Outgrow is a platform that lets marketers build and launch interactive calculators and viral quizzes that help engagement on your site, and essentially help you generate, more leads. Um, I really want to talk about, or we're going to talk about, customer choice paralysis. We're going to talk about interactive marketing tools, on your store, how to basically generate more engagement on your store and generate more leads. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Soksham. Hi, Soksham. How are you doing?
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Before we kick off today's show, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Did you know that cloud hosted e commerce platforms like Shopify and BigCommerce do not provide automatic backups? Rewind steps in to protect Shopify and BigCommerce stores with automatic backups. Rewind is trusted by over 25,000 stores. Install Rewind and get to test it for free over 7 days. And to extend the 7-day trial to 30 days, head over to rewind.io, their website, and mention 2x e-commerce. Fantastic. Okay, I probably haven't done you sufficient justice, Shoksham, in regards to your platform, Outgrow. Could you just give users an idea of what Outgrow does and what you do, at Outgrow?
So Outgrow, as you said, it allows people to create interactive content such as contests, giveaways, polls, quizzes, surveys, calculators, and also e-commerce recommendations, which would be very relevant for your audience, and assessments and chatbots as well. Now, these allow people to interact with your existing customers and prospects in a very engaging way. Now, the content that you create can be embedded on your e-store. It can be promoted using your blog or your email newsletter or your social media channels. And you get the capability, and this is important because you get the capability to track the return of investment and analytics as soon as you go live. So you're able to easily launch multiple campaigns and assess how they compare using the compare tabs on Outgrow. And on the results page, or you can have a key call to action for each interactive content piece that you build. You can have a key call to action that can lead people to buying the product, or that can lead people to downloading your brochures or anything that's required. So that's what Outgrow does. And personally, I specialize in data collection, analysis, filtering, and transfer by the means of widgets and applets. Interactive, cultural, and trending widgets designed by me have been featured on Product Hunt, Trend Hunter, Factory Berlin, Digimarcord, Silicon Valley, and at the European Affiliate Summit. So that's what I do. And I'm particularly at Outgrow, I work as their creative director. So my job basically involves expanding what the software can do and how our clients can get the most from it.
Incredible. I love the fact that I'm speaking to you because you're at the front line, essentially, building out, these solutions and, design, rethinking a lot of the solutions out there. Okay, so Outgrow is 4 years old. Where are you guys based?
So the headquarters are in New York and we have
Okay.
offices in LA, but a lot of our team, and that actually was helpful for us, like more than 50% of our team is working remotely.
Okay.
I'm currently working from Europe, which is nice considering all the turmoil in the
Absolutely.
US.
Mhm, mhm,
so
mhm.
so I'm working in from Europe, and so it was very easy for us to like just get into the whole post-pandemic remote work culture because we had just been doing that anyway, and we have great efficiency with doing that. And we use interactive content to actually make it more efficient, which everyone can do as well.
Okay. So let's look at the interactive content landscape. So in the world of e-commerce, we're very used to pop-ups, email
Mm.
collection pop-ups. They're basic to say the least, and that's why I really wanted to have a conversation with you guys, because with email collection pop-ups, a pop-up comes in, you give an incentive. Here's 10% off your first order. Can you please put your email, in exchange? Hardly do we ever put in interactive content. So in from your perspective, there and Outgrow, what is the split? What's the B2B versus B2C split with the use of interactive, content and interactive marketing, tools, on site?
So I'll give you like two examples for like B2B and B2C in the case of
Mhm.
e-commerce. So B2B example that I usually give is say you're on a lawyer's website, okay, an attorney's website, and the primary call to action there is just contact me. So there's a lot of static text, and then there's just a primary call to action saying contact me. And now the problem is that we're living in this information age where there's tons of lawyers out there. All of them have these such websites, and all of them have call to actions called contact me. So you don't know which one to choose. And that's how we come to decision paralysis, choice paralysis. You don't know which lawyer to get because everyone seems good and there's no way to actually verify who is good. Now imagine that on a lawyer's website, instead, you had the primary call to action that said, see how much I can save you in legal fees. So you click on that, and then it asks you a couple of questions, takes a little data from your site, and then gives you a personalized result over time that if you hired this lawyer, how much can this lawyer save your company in legal fees? Depending on what state you're in, depending on what industry you're in. So it gives a personalized value at the end. And just before it gives the value, it also asks the user for their email so that later you can follow up. So to get
Yeah.
this value, because you're giving the customer something for free, all you're asking for is your email, they're very likely to just give their email. So then that customer enters your marketing funnel, and you're able to just get in touch with them. So, and you're also providing like infographic value to show them over time how much they can save. So that's an example for B2B. And another example for B2B would be see which state should you incorporate your business to, or see which state you should shift your business to depending on the tax laws, or stuff like that. So B2B businesses, it's really the ambit is very vast. Now let me go to B2C, and specifically in the case of e-commerce, the classic example for like decision paralysis is like if you like have websites like AliExpress and everything, where there's like so many goods, and that's like flooded the market with goods. And again, you have decision paralysis, because how does your store stand out against these stores that just have cheap products for like and a lot of choice? So what you do, and this is what Amazon does, you would see that in Amazon, but also like Sephora does this. A lot of companies do this. They have e-commerce recommendations. So I would say in the physical world, if you want to buy a pair of sunglasses or shades, you walk into a mall, and you walk into like a shop like Gucci or Prada or Zara or somewhere, and there's always a shop assistant who has some expertise in the field of sunglasses, who's able to tell you which one are going to suit you the best. Now if you go to an online store, there is no such shop assistant. So I think the good way to go about this is with interactive content and e-commerce recommendation that asks you a couple of questions like, what is your face shape? What is your eye color? Which actors do you like? Based on that, it recommends sunglasses or shades that would suit your face the best. So it basically helps with decision paralysis, because if you're working in any industry, doesn't matter if it's B2B or B2C, you are running that business because you have a particular expertise in that business, and you have to understand that the customer does not have that expertise, and he doesn't know that you have that expertise, and you have to be able to give the customer personalized value. And the way you can do this is by using your expertise to make an interactive content piece that helps them make a decision. You have to come 50% towards the customer and help them out in actually choosing something, and that's where interactive content comes in.
Interesting. You mentioned decision paralysis.
Hmm.
So in the B2C space, would you say that bigger stores or bigger offerings stand to benefit as compared to very specialist stores with interactive content?
What do you mean by bigger stores tend to benefit
Um,
as compared to specialist stores?
so stores with bigger catalogs, so with, let's say you're selling suits, for instance, and you have a SKU count
Mm,
of 300 suits, and people are really finding it difficult to figure out what to
mm.
get, with an interactive tool that, as you give an example, says, what's your height, what colors do you like, who's your favorite actor, would help them narrow down the amount of
The choice. Yeah,
options.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
It's
For sure, definitely in the case of bigger stores, it's just that it's easier to explain this in the case of bigger stores. But when we look at like B2B companies specifically, even smaller companies, it's very helpful for them because, like, if you're coming from outside the industry, no, if you're coming from in the industry, for you it might be simple which pricing plan you should be getting, like for on a particular subscription based store, or if you it must be if you're a person selling courses, if you're a person recommending podcast episodes, it's obvious to you because you've been through that, you work in the industry. But you have to always like look at it from the perspective of a first time buyer. For him, probably, a small store is also too many options, like even our own website, we have four pricing plans, but for freelancers, for small and medium businesses, and then for enterprises, right? So but even like to for a new time customer, it's sometimes hard to decide that which plan is right for them. So I think it works equally for choice paralysis for like too many products, but also choice paralysis when you really can't pick from like an industry you don't actually understand. So yeah, so it works both ways, but definitely it helps. Like if your store is really big, you definitely need to help people out by making the choice for them to an extent.
okay. So these are essentially, really clever, helpers, wizards, to put it
Hmm.
in old terms. So what does it look like in the back end? How does a non-technical person actually, code in that intelligence? And how does that map into like a product catalog, in a store? Um, could you sort of, lift the bonnet a little bit, or as they say in America, lift the hood, a little bit, so we can
For
understand how?
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like the example I give for this usually is that it's a no code tool. So one doesn't have to worry about coding at all. And that I think is the biggest achievement because, when I was young, they were always like, oh, you need to learn coding because that's the next big thing. And, I joined a coding class and I was terrible at it. And I almost like failed because of that. And then I learned that, coding is not meant for everyone and it
Mm,
shouldn't be meant for everyone. And again, the second thing one has to remember is that if humanity is so good at coding, by now they must have invented tools that allow you to code without actually coding. And
mm,
that's what no code tools are about. What the information age values is not the ability you have to code, but the creativity you have in your industry. That is of more value to this economy than your expertise with coding or your reliance on developers or your
mm.
ability to procure developers.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Klaviyo is a growth marketing platform that powers over 25,000 online businesses. Klaviyo understands every single customer interaction and empowers brands to create more personalized marketing moments. Listen, analyze, and act on your customer data with Klaviyo. Visit klaviyo.com/2x.
So Outgrow as a no-code tool, what it brings to you is the ability to just go on the builder, use drag and drop resources. Like you don't have to do anything. There's no code on the builder at all. You just need to edit the colors, add your logo, add pictures, add GIFs, add conditional logic, which is just like, if he answers a question saying this, then we lead him there, as opposed to leading him like to this option. So, it's very basic, simple understanding of a user flow. And that allows you to just build these e-commerce recommendation widgets without any hassle or without like having to go through a developer team and all that. So It's also like the other thing to emphasize is that you have an expertise in your industry. I'll give you an example of this guy, this client of ours, who wanted to make a makeup set recommendation widget. So he wanted to sell makeup sets to his audience. So he came up with these questions because, I have no idea. I've been working on this tool for a long time, but I had no idea. But he did, because he was able to ask questions like, so for recommending a makeup set, he asks you again, like, what's your eye color? What is your face shape? But a key question he asked was, what color are the veins under your skin? Because
Mm,
that is apparently important to determine what foundation goes on your face when you're putting on makeup. So, these kind of intelligent questions that are very easily able to determine what the user should buy. And it also like makes the user feel that, okay, I'm taking a widget that is intelligent, so that's how it helps. I think it's very easy to build. Go on the builder, you can start from scratch, or we also have 1,000, almost 2,000 templates that you can just edit easily for like 21 different industries. So whether you're like a person selling courses, or whether you're a real estate agent, or whether you're just selling stuff online, it's totally possible for you to just edit these.
okay, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. From an interaction standpoint, which of the options from which of your tools have or has delivered, the best, sort of engagement with customers?
So I think it's usually I would say all of them are really important depending on what industry someone is in. Because, like, so a calculator is really important for B2B businesses because they're trying to sell products that have multiple variables. So, if any variable changes, the ultimate result, the cost of the product changes, and it also allows them to show the result in a long-term value infographically. So, a calculator helps B2B businesses, but for B2C, we have seen all kinds, everything helps, like a contest. So you make a contest that, people should share your hashtag so many times in order to win, a shirt or something. So it really depends, but we've seen quizzes, calculators, contests, polls, chatbots. All of them are very helpful. And sometimes people just combine one with another and they make a hybrid widget that is also very helpful and can do multiple things at the same time. So I would say it is a combination of factors. One of the things we are seeing recently, I'll give you an example, is that Facebook has also introduced an option on your Facebook page. Now you can have a tab that allows you to embed a widget. So it's an interactive tab that you can have where you can just put a little widget that can collect bookings, or that can, serve as a contest, or that can give you a calculation. So we're seeing that recently take off. And what we're also seeing is obviously the rise and fall of e-commerce brands on Instagram. And this has led to, like, any Instagram influencer can within months, or like within a year, definitely can rise to like as much production and sales as, like, any small business out there. So we've seen that on Insta stories. So when you swipe up, people are able to use calculators or quizzes to engage with their audience. Yeah.
Mm. And I see with the e-commerce, recommendations engine tool on your site.
Hmm.
I think I'll just share my screen for those who are going to be watching the video. So on your site, I could actually see that. Let's see here. I could actually see that you integrate with Shopify.
Yes.
So your product catalog will be there, based on the flow you dictate. It will recommend, a suite of products, based on all the answers you provided, I guess.
Yeah, we have a native integration with Shopify and also with 1,000 other integration partners in stores. So it's native, it's all internally handled. All you need to do is to just get an Outgrow plan, and you can directly link it from your quiz builder to Shopify or anywhere else. And you can embed it, you can, have it as a chatbot on your e-store. There's like tons of options like to
Mm,
do that.
mm.
And you can have it as pop-ups, advertisements, sidebars, floating rectangles, full
Yeah,
page embeds. It's totally
yeah.
possible. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about the presentation of it. So, which do you think works best on mobile? Would you say a pop under or a pop up? How would you best deliver a
Hmm.
decent user experience for a mobile user so it's not that intrusive?
I would just say an embed, because personally, I'm not the biggest fan of pop-ups, because I don't like websites where like 15,000 different things start popping up as soon as you land up there, and so you
Mhm.
have to get your blockers installed. I think an embed is the best way. So try
Okay.
to like embed it on your store as like a little like as soon as someone enters your store, the first thing they see is a nice embed that guides them through the store. So it's like a shop assistant, right? So
Right.
someone who's out there and who's friendly and is not just like popping up in your face like
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
would say like a nice embed. And you can also, like, the key thing is you can A/B test on Outgrow, and this is the key strong function about Outgrow, is that we give real data analytics. So the thing is not just that they're answering a couple of questions, your clients. They come to your e-store, they answer a couple of questions, and they get what they want. But you're also collecting really good marketing data and understanding your user base when you do this. So if you have it embedded on your website, it's functional 24/7. It's calculating data by, like, where did this user come from, which website he came from, who referred him, where is he located, did he access it on mobile, or did he access it on desktop? So you can get all that data, and then in the Outgrow builder, you're able to optimize your applet or widget based on this data. So you can constantly keep improving it. You can do A/B testing and see which one works better. You can see whether the pop-up was working better, or whether the embed was working better,
Right.
or whether your email campaign was working better. And based on that, you can change your widget so that it's optimized for that particular outlet.
Right. 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 And I mean, it would be different from from website to website, I would guess. Um. Yeah. It looks seems very very interesting. What about surveys and quiz? Oh, sorry. With the recommendations engine in an e-commerce context,
Hmm.
where would you suggest an embed is placed at the homepage and category pages? Where you seeing your clients actually utilize the recommendation engine?
But it really depends, So sometimes, as we were talking about earlier, that if you have too many products in your store, or even if you don't have too many products, if you see someone scrolling down your product catalog, and you can just trigger it to just like come up if someone has scrolled down beyond a certain point. So it can be very intuitive to see, okay, so this person wants what he wants, and he already got what he wants, and that's fine. So you don't bother him. But someone who's been on your website for a while and is still searching and searching and scrolling, and he still hasn't bought anything. So in that case, the recommendation widget can be embedded either at the bottom of your page. So if they scroll down too much, and they're like, at the ninth page of your catalog list, so it can be there. Otherwise, you can also have it like, for abandoned carts, for instance. If someone abandons their cart, then you can trigger an email with a widget that helps them, recommend them something that you think they might like based on their recommendations. So you can put it there. So it's really up to you. And I think, as I keep emphasizing, like, I can give examples as to where these can go in a very apt manner. But what we have seen is the most creative uses by people who are experts in their industry. And I think
Yeah.
I speak in general for 21 different industries, but I have seen the most amount of innovation come from like our clients. And so they would know where to place it, and they would
Who,
know how it goes.
who are your
Yeah.
best in class e-commerce clients?
In class? What do you mean in
No,
class?
your best in class. So who are
Oh, best in
the
class.
best?
Okay, I was
Yeah.
just like in class as an out of class. But yeah, for sure. In class, I would say we've seen, like, across the board, we've seen, people selling products, we've seen people selling services, we've seen people selling beauty products, we've seen influencers online, and again, like, because e-commerce is like, when we expand it, it becomes like a huge term. So I don't want to exclude any of our clients. So I would say even like influencers on Instagram, like fitness influencers selling like, fitness plans, or selling like their gym memberships. We've seen those happen. We've seen beauty products. That's a huge thing. Healthcare, that's a huge thing. We've seen, as for physical products go, like the sunglasses example is really easy to say. So that's one. The makeup set is another one that we use. The watches, we've seen people sell watches, clothes as well. So it's really across the board. But one example I would give you that's recent and very relevant to the times is basically when the whole the coronavirus thing started in February, especially in Europe, it was a really big deal, and they immediately just banned all the restaurants. And so a lot of our restaurant clients, they came up and they said, okay, so now we can't have people coming and eating at our restaurant, so instead we need a solution by which we can actually do takeaway, switch to takeaway or takeout very easily. So what they did was they build on Outgrow, because it's a no-code tool and it's really easy to build. They build your own burger menu or build your own pizza menu, and then it gives you a customized price based on that. And that really increased the takeaway and takeout, and automated the whole process. Instead of someone having to sit on the phone and take an order, it was just basically someone goes on the website and just orders a customized menu, and it's just ready for takeout. So that's another new example we've seen. So what I want to really emphasize is, with no code tools, the limit is endless, and constantly, like, we see people like using their expertise to build something that can really help the clients.
Like that. I learned another term. So there's the first was the choice paralysis and the no code tools. Very, very interesting. Okay. Want to really touch quickly on chatbots. So what, again, you're designing chatbots with no code. Do you have any use cases on chatbots and the deployment of chatbots?
So the great thing about chatbots is that we have like a universal chatbot template on our website that anyone can use, like literally across 24 different industries, anyone can use. All you need to do is like some edits here and there. So this, you don't even need to start from scratch. You can just go to our examples page on our website, outgrow.co/examples.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Is your e-commerce store powered by Magento, BigCommerce, Commerce Cloud, WooCommerce, or a custom CAT platform? Is it slow? Does it have too many fields or involves too many steps to complete a purchase? Enter Bolt. It's the fastest e-commerce checkout in the industry, period. Bolt loads 10x faster than native checkouts with an average checkout duration of just over 30 seconds. Bolt is mobile native with no scroll on mobile screens. It offers a zero fraud guarantee and has 42% fewer fields than native checkout. Bolt supports Stripe, Apple Pay, PayPal, and several more payment gateways and providers. Bolt helped luxury sunglasses brand Dita reduce checkout abandonment by 32%, which resulted in a 50% conversion rate uplift. Don't lose customers at checkout, use Bolt. Bolt is offering a completely free bottom of funnel checkout audit to 2x e-commerce listeners. Head over to bolt.com/2x to get your free checkout audit now. That's bolt.com/2x.
And you will see 1,000 different templates. But for the chatbot, it's even easier because, there's a general flow. Every website, whether you're an e-store or whether you're like, any other industry, there's a general flow every chatbot follows, and you can just go and edit that. It will take you barely 5 minutes. Put it on your website. If it doesn't work out, change some of the questions and see how people are answering, see when they drop out of the user flow, and edit it based on that. So it's just really easy. With chatbots, it's basically like, you're helping guide your users through a particular flow on your website. If they have a particular question, they can just ask that. So it's just easy to do. So I think chatbots is just a universal use case, and you can just use that template. Yeah.
Okay, and then what about giveaways? Do you have any examples on giveaways?
So for instance, like a lot of e-commerce traffic, especially also if you're like an affiliate for like Amazon, or if you're an affiliate for not eBay, but Amazon, or like, L'Oreal or any other company. An affiliate, for those of you who don't know, is a person who's selling on behalf of a company like Amazon. And every time you're talking about this product on your blog, you're an affiliate, you're talking about it on your blog, and then you recommend a product and someone ends up on Amazon, then they buy something and Amazon gives you a commission. So what you can do is use a contest to say, oh, if you like, I'll give you another. It's like, if you have a blog and you give people a chance to get featured on your blog as a award that they can win on a contest. So we have seen like companies like recently we saw I think it was at the Mobile World Conference Barcelona. I think Nokia did that. Nokia was like, share a hashtag 50 times, or like share a hashtag with the most interesting tweet, or share a picture of the Mobile World Conference with a hashtag, and get a chance to win a free, Nokia phone. So you just give one free, award. It can be a chance to be featured on your blog, or it can be a product. It can be a shirt from your e-commerce store. And in return, you ask people to share your hashtag, to talk about you on social media. So like, 20,000 people might participate in the contest, and you only have to give one prize at the end of it, but you get the buzz and the engagement from 20,000 people on social media. So it really works for you. And that's how a contest works. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Cool. Um, yeah. So I think we've pretty much yeah, I think we've pretty much covered interactive tools. So back into like the e-commerce world and with post-COVID, what have you seen? What was COVID like with merchants working with Outgrow, and what is it like now as we continue to grapple with this pandemic?
Well, I think the key thing is that if it wasn't happening before, I mean, it was already like, physical and retail shopping was on already on a decline. And the ascent of e-commerce was already projected to like, be really good over time. And I think PricewaterhouseCoopers released a report that this ascent of e-commerce has been accelerated by 30% because of the pandemic. Like, it's not even a question. Like, already Walmart, I think also Macy's and all these stores, the Black Friday and Christmas shopping season that's coming this quarter, like, it's moving online. You're not going to see like those Black Friday, like, rushes in malls and, stores, etc. This entire rush has been shifted online. These deals will be available online. And for me, that's a great opportunity, because for the first time, and maybe the only time, uh, small and medium sized businesses can actually compete at the same level as these big brands, because only in this year have will they not have a chance at all to have any of those big physical stores with like, the space and resources to manage these crowds, whereas they have to compete at the same level. Everyone's going to be online. You have an equal chance of advertising with interactive content on Facebook, on Twitter. Use these e-commerce recommendations to give these discounts, to use contests, because this is your only chance to compete with like the big brands. And it might not happen next year again, because this is the coronavirus has shifted everyone online, and now's your turn to actually grab that market at an as an equal to Walmart and Macy's and everyone. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this
Amazon.
this Q4 is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope many e-commerce businesses can cope with from a supply chain standpoint with the demand. Um, and also in the same vein, a lot of um, retailers and consumer packaged goods, traditional consumer packaged goods that normally used to distribute through grocery, grocers,
Hmm.
are starting to really brace up their direct to consumer
For sure.
yeah, effort.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some brands, some supermarket brands that you'd think would never ever want to sell to direct to consumer, doing it both at the enterprise level.
Hmm.
I have a mate who runs an agency, and I believe they helped Heinz sell ketchup, on Shopify Plus over the pandemic, and people bought like in troves. So they were stocking up on ketchup and a few other products. And in the same vein, smaller independent, farmers and brands are seeing, okay, we already have some brand parity, some brand equity by being in the stores. People are searching for us. Let's give them the ability to buy from us very conveniently on a subscription basis or what have you. So there's a lot of activity now online, and there's an opportunity, and I really think like this interactive content will help customers, will help brands and e-tailers, essentially e-commerce brands, know their customers a bit more and be helpful to their customers automatically, especially with the
Yeah.
chatbots. So
And
Just
help them
super.
choose, because if there's everyone is competing, Amazon, Macy's, Walmart is competing for only available internet space with small and medium brands who
Yeah,
now have the same power as them, because they don't need to go to those big stores,
yeah,
which means everyone's competing. There's too much noise. How do you
yeah,
get through the noise is by actually just helping your customer make a
yeah,
decision.
yeah,
And that is what interactive content can allow you to do. They will
yeah,
make the decision. If you help them make the decision, they will buy from you. They don't have to buy from Amazon, right? So
yeah.
yeah.
Essentially, you're coding in a shopping assistant on your site.
Exactly. Yeah. And
It's
he's gonna be automatic. You don't have to
exactly
Yeah.
train and train and train. Obviously, you get feedback and then you can improve it, but
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
put that in. Another very interesting point um, is just the options you have. I've been very selective with the e-commerce platforms and solutions that come on the show,
Mm.
and I think this Outgrow is worth a go. Interactive content. People should start thinking about how do we start to put more interactive content on site. There are other platforms, by the way, but like thinking about interactive content, and I really just want to thank you just sharing, all of your insights, because I've not really thought about, this from a growth standpoint, and it looks like it could be a good, huge, growth lever for each, especially from intelligence gathering also. So just one final question before I let you go, Shaksham,
Mm.
which is really, what are your thoughts of the future of e-commerce in the next 3 to 5 years? So in 2025, what do you think? What do you think the landscape will look like? If somebody asked somebody in 2015, no one would have ever thought about, where we are today.
Mhm.
So no pressure.
Well, I think, as I have been saying, I think what we are living in now is already the late part of the information age. So it's no longer the information age. I was on a podcast with the co-founder of Wikipedia, and he said it is more like the disinformation age or the misinformation age. And I think this is going to accelerate really heavily by the time we reach 2025. And the solution to this noise in the misinformation age is really personalization and humanization of marketing, by which I mean you will be competing against, a billion other, products or like services that have perhaps they're as good as yours or not, but you have to realize it's not the product or the service that matters. It's understanding the customer that matters, and that would matter more, and building this relationship that would matter more. And this you can really really do by showing your expertise, not how great your product is, but by showing the customer how much you know about your industry. And you can do that using interactive content. I think by 2025 it would be the norm. If it's not already, it will definitely be the norm, because this pandemic will move things online. And because it's not just once that it's happening, because they're already talking about another virus that they had to contain in another Chinese supermarket recently. So this is going to be something, lockdowns are something that might actually become the norm, immediate lockdowns. So there needs to be a backup plan all the time that a business needs to have, and they shouldn't completely just rely on physical retail. E-commerce is the future, and it's the future, really, like strictly the future.
That's well, we're very, very well put, very eloquently put. Yeah, so Soksham, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. For those of you who want to find out more about Outgrow, it's just outgrow.co, or just Google it. Just by the way, for those people who loved your voice, loved what you had to share, are you active on any social media channels? So people can follow you, or
For sure, you can follow our Marketer of the Month podcast. It
okay,
is streamed across 7 different platforms.
okay,
So just try look it up on Spotify or Google Podcasts, and you'll find it there. But key thing is, what I would do want to emphasize is that Black Friday and the whole Christmas shopping season is actually coming up. So I think it's very easy. I really like. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Across 21 different industries, we already have interactive templates ready that you can just go and embed and see whether they work out for you.
mhm,
You can claim an extended trial if you just go to outgrow.co/2xec. and you'd be able to claim an extended trial as well as a 20% yearly discount if you want to buy the product. And this would be really helpful because this is the season. I really want to emphasize it is the only chance you might actually get before things really turn online. And Amazon's going to come next year with great online strategies, but they don't have them this year. And so you can compete with them at an equal level by using interactive content. So do use it.
Awesome. So the URL again is
Outgrow.co/2xec.
EC. Okay. All right. Cool. Yep. So just a pleasure having you on, and yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me.